times.
Yep, we are now live. This is a little after show from Expeditions for Answers uh, in Cabro. We are here to wish Miss Kristi Sci a happy birthday, which will be tomorrow. So bon fête. And do you have any plans for tomorrow?
No, not really. Probably either gonna go eat at my mom's house for dinner or go out to eat.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Look, one way or the other, like I said, bon fête. And you better laissez les bon temps rouler, girl.
That's what I'm talking about, yeah.
True that. True that. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
That's I think it's cool. Well, basically, you guys, I don't know if Bigfoot will come in this conversation or not, but we're just gonna
Hey,
stick. And we do whenever the show ends, we can stop broadcasting and we could sit in the room and talk, and that's probably some of the best material there is. But at the same time, we don't behave, and we're not. We don't say Bigfoot. We talk about anything and everything else, and it's off the wall. So we just, Kristen will be on my show as a guest. But tonight we're just doing a special birthday for her, and we're just gonna cut up and maybe let my little coon ass have a good time.
hey, the punk's birthday's in January too. Ah.
Really? That's three of y'all because you got I guess Punk Patrick, and later at the end of the month, so that works for me.
She's always harassing me in chat or on a show. She'll get on and she'll look at me, she'll be like, "You a punk?"
I can't imagine Kristi harassing anybody.
Nah.
Yeah, I'll get a message during the day and I'll pick it up and it'll say punk.
We love that on the show is nothing but messing with you. I'm sitting there going, "Dang, girl, how much you got? How many times you gonna call him a punk?"
that was it. Just when he said when he was tracking Prince or whatever, I said he's a punk tracker that finds the punk tracks and all, punk tracker or something. I don't know. It's just being silly, you know. You gotta have
Yeah.
fun in your life.
Oh, yeah, that's
I'm
what
a,
it's about.
yeah.
you know, uh, Gary posted. Have y'all seen the video he posted of the Scooby Doo blob monster, the green blob monster that he put on the page?
I saw it,
No,
but
I
I
didn't
didn't.
see that.
I didn't look at it.
Tonight, my Scooby Natural, but that was it was so hilarious. I get a kick out of stuff like that when people are so stupid and they try to hoax. I will never be a hoaxer, but you can ask Amanda. I mean, we've been friends for a long time. She knows I am definitely a practical joker.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
well, put it this way, we used to work together at a nursing home, and they had a gazebo back away from it where we could, um, go have lunch breaks and whatnot. We'd be sitting out there, and raccoons would like come out of the woods and run under it, freak people out. I actually brought a stuffed raccoon, and I hid it behind a little stump that was away from it. Because that string run up, and it was like kind of hooked around the gazebo. And when one of my friends and I had it like aimed, the string was run so I could control exactly where it would go. And one of them, like we were waiting for her to come out, and she's coming up. She's about to step up that ramp, and I just started doing this and pulling that real quick. That stuffed animal came. She screamed and she ran all the way back into the building. It was stuffed animal. I did that to mess with it. She's like, screw y'all. I ain't coming back to sit with you. I'm staying inside. I love playing practical jokes, but I do not hoax. I don't, I'm not going to put up something false or anything like that. I love to have fun, but I do have my serious and my professional side. And tonight on this show, the after show, there is no professionalism. It's just
Nope.
straight up, whatever happens, happens.
Well, like what y'all was saying earlier, and what I said. I said they know your intentions when you walk in the woods.
Mhm.
They could tell. They could tell who's good or bad.
Oh yeah, and they're better than dogs. Like I said, as far as telling if you a good person or if you mean some kind of harm or something. I mean, I've heard of people being in the woods with their rifles hunting and, using their scope, and they catch sight of one in their scope, and they'll be looking at them, and, it's kind of aggressive at first, but then they'll drop their gun like, you know, am I seeing what I'm seeing? And it shows that they're not there to, they've seen hunters. They know what hunters are doing. They're trying to get meat to feed themselves. So that's when they turn around, they understand if there's someone out there to shoot them, like someone I won't mention that is a big hoaxer. And
Mm.
got, the ones that, hey, they respect it and they're going to go hunt in a different area when they see that thing in their scope that, is like, nah. Because I still have a hard time believing that someone has actually shot and killed one because it's, you know,
Well, I like your idea. I that's what like tune me in. You're about like what I am. No kill.
Hey,
yeah.
Just
Kristi.
leave them. Just leave them alone.
Hey, Kristi.
What?
I got a cursor on your nose.
I
Yeah.
got you, punk.
You
Yeah.
got a curse on her nose.
He's got a cursor on my nose. It probably looks like a booger.
It looks like something.
Yeah, I took
Yeah, they
there.
are too human to shoot. Yes.
I consider it
The
murder.
one, Sasha,
Hmm.
she has the same nose I have. Okay.
Hmm.
Her jawline comes down a little more, is a little more robust, but she has the same nose I have. She has a heavier brow. She's wilder looking, but the nose, I couldn't get over the nose. I'm looking at something that has my nose.
Yeah.
You know.
You sure, Big Sam's, or sure you didn't mess with Sasha's mama back in the day? You
Well,
go on a hot date.
there's a
Woo!
there's a there's a there's a there's a
That one.
there's a cool story to that.
Big
Um,
snatch.
I personally couldn't do that.
You don't look like the back of its hand.
With
Yeah,
hair.
I, I personally
Where
couldn't
I
do
was
that.
going, girl. Gosh.
But but there's a guy I work with, and I told him I was going into a certain area, do some tracking, and he told me he said be careful of the wild people that live up there.
Hmm.
And of course I know, but I'm not. I don't. If someone says something to me like that, I'll just say, "Oh, really? Tell me." I don't lead on to anything. And he says, "Well," he says, "I was hunting in this area," and I got him to show me on a map
Yeah.
exactly what area he was hunting. And he was hunting in an area, and he was in there as a teenager. And here comes this very large man with something over his shoulder like this, and it's shuffling through the swamp. And he said he would walk about 30 yards, stop, and look all around. He said it's before daybreak. It's dark, and there's a little bit of piece of moon showing. And so he sunk down behind some cypress knees and was watching between cypress knees. And he said it was huge, a huge man, and it would shuffle 25, 30 yards, stop, and look all around 360. And he said he did that the whole way through the area.
Yeah.
And he was too scared to make himself known. But this guy, this huge man who's wearing animal skin, he said this guy's wearing animal skin because he could see the hair all over it, the fur from the animal skin all over him.
Hmm.
He's just covered in animal skin with something over his shoulder, and he's walking through the swamp.
Hmm.
And he goes all the way out of here, and he says, I didn't make another damn sound. I said, I didn't shoot anything that morning. I got out there,
Yeah.
And I'm like, what makes you think it was a man? And he couldn't answer that question.
Yeah. You know
And
what kills me? I must have been really ignorant to things that were going on around me because, my first experience was 8 years ago in 2012. And that's when I really got into it. That's when I had my first Class A sighting. And I've been going crazy since. But I spent so much time in the woods and mudding and all that
mm-hmm,
in Louisiana. I was there for 12 years. and also in Florida. And there's a lot of reports of them down there, and I just and I pay attention. I'm good with situational awareness. I guess when it came to stuff like I just wrote it off as an animal. Didn't think about
Right.
bipedal steps or whether it was a quadruped, things like that. So I was just like, whatever. But when I saw that one, and I like I said, I watched Finding Bigfoot for the longest time because it interested me. I always had an open mind, and then here 8 years ago, I see one face to face standing out by a tree, just bright as day, clean as anything, and I'm just like, and I guess people's uh perspective or how they absorb or their reaction whenever they do see one, when they finally have a class A, whether they're believers or skeptics or whatever, and they see one. Like I said, I was just calm. I was just like, you know, looked at him for maybe 3 to 5 seconds and then turned my head and I got to the building. I was like, did I really just see that? I mean, I know I saw something, and by the time I look back around, he's gone, but still. So,
Well, I was a person that was. I was at a primitive camp one time, and maybe 2001 or two, and this guy brought up the subject of Bigfoot, and I laughed at him till he left.
hmm
That was me. They didn't exist. There's no way. It's a wives' tale. It's a
yeah,
farce. It's a hallucination. You know. And then I had to chase that man back down 2004, winter 2004 or 5, I think. I chased that man down and had to apologize to him. You know. And there's nothing you could have done to ever prove to me that one of these things existed.
hmm
You
Mm.
know, I had to show myself. I had to use my skill set to track one down and pull it in with a single knock and say, okay, it's here. You see it, and you see it, and I see it. It's real.
yeah.
Let's get the hell out of here. You know. But
They are real as real can be.
Well, me and Patrick, we talked a little bit the other night, and you know, if you get your phone, Google what is the most recent species to be discovered, and you'll see things from salamanders to certain kind of deer. All there's a list that just within the past few years have been discovered of all these new species. Um, when it comes to Bigfoot, there has been DNA evidence. They say it's you know unknown primate. But I think, even though it says primate, I mean, I know that sometimes, we're kind of in that primate family. But when it comes down to that, you're sitting there going, wow. And yet people don't believe. We've got DNA,
yeah,
we've got tracks, we've got stories of these things that have gone for thousands of years. And I know somebody brought up like the Christian aspect of it because some people believe it to be of the devil or
Or the Nephilim.
or a Nephilim. Yeah. My explanation for it, and as me being a Christian, I look at it this way. In the Bible, you read there's Goliath and people like him that were giants. And then you have Esau, who was born covered in red hair like a sackcloth. So you're talking about a man that was hairy head to toe with red hair. So why can't we have, a species or a being out there that's sentient, that's humanoid, that's like us, just bigger, hairier, more primitive, but smart as all get out. Why can't people see that? And why is it so hard to just at least open your mind to it?
well, scientifically, the scientific community uh, had hoaxes themselves pulled
Hmm.
on them. Okay, as the academics of science and technology were writing our family tree,
hmm
they've rewritten it many times. Now, knowing what I know and the evidence that I've collected, what is a more plausible thing, situation? Either we uh, completely missed a whole branch of the hominid tree? Or are we flying in the face of history that even they say, this mainstream scientists say, that we have never been alone on this earth as a species?
Mm-hmm.
So, if we've never been alone on this earth as a hominid species, but now this planet is sterile and only humans exist, that flies in the face of convention of their own scientific findings. So what's more plausible? They missed something, or we're actually sterile, just humans, even though we have all the what we have caught, captured,
Mm-hmm.
captured.
Yeah,
I
I'll
think
tell
it's,
you.
I think
Go
it's
ahead.
more, yeah, I think it's more plausible we missed a hominid.
Well, I'll tell you. I was looking at stuff because I remember, and I cannot find it. Somebody had posted a side by side of Patty from the Patterson Gimlin film, and the next to it was where they had peeled away like the layers of the fur, the skin, the sinew down to the bone. And you could just see how the muscular anatomy and structure of this being worked. I can't find those pictures anymore, but I did find online, if you look at Idaho State, um, I guess, research on the anatomy of Bigfoot. And they've got some amazing pictures that really show you. Quit yawning. You ain't
I'm
done
sorry.
hard or anything. But,
Ugh.
it shows how the lines of anatomy, it shows like on Patty where you can actually see the bulge, the butt crack, the gluteus maximus. You can see where the spine curvature is, where certain muscles are just like they are on us. They show it. And then they've got a picture of a guy in a Bigfoot suit, and his lines are all straight. It's like the suit just. And there's a Netflix series called The Umbrella Academy, and
I
there's
heard about that.
yeah, it's actually I like it. It's good. They've got 2 seasons out, but there's this guy that like they experimented with his powers, and they actually put ape DNA into him, so he's like half man, half ape. I mean, he looks like a man, but he's muscular, and of course, the guy that plays him has a small build, but I mean, he's not. He's got a good build, but you could tell it is definitely makeup in a silicone suit that they put him in, and they've got scenes of him in a tank top and or without a shirt where he's fighting, and those with that suit on, there's no natural movement. You don't see the way our skin would ripple or the muscles would flex and turn as he was doing it. And so you can see the difference between Patty and her movements, the way she walked and her body glided, and then you look at somebody in a suit now. It was 67 when they did it, so we're 50 over 50 years later, and technology is come so much further with CGI and the way they do makeup in Hollywood, but yet nobody can recreate Patty. Nothing
No.
comes close to it.
Well, not only that, but how to put this? Belief. All right, on one side of the coin, you have disbelief.
Mhm.
I can't believe this happens. I can't believe this. Can't believe that. Even though I see tracks, even though I see this film of Patty and all the and that it cannot be debunked. On this side of the coin, I can't believe it. But there's two sides of that coin. A person that says that literally has to, in private, they'll take that coin and flip it over, and begrudgingly recognize that they are in denial. They're denying what is put in front of them because they can't handle the change that it takes to admit to, yes, this is a real thing.
Yeah, and, like people, and they fear it. It's something that just like what's going on. And no, I do not talk politics on the show. I can't stand it. Don't want to. But for all the
Agreed.
realities and the proof that has been thrown in everybody's face, they fear that that's really happening. So they're blindsided. They just no. I'm not gonna. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to deny fear is not believe in it,
Yeah,
because
I mean, yeah,
something new, something different. And that goes with the whole racism thing. People fear difference. And so therefore they react and just do stupid things and create stupid situations, even though they say it doesn't exist, it's not that bad, whatever, it's there. But they scared. They scared. They scared. But since it does bother them, it's that kind of thing. They just put that block, that mental block, is not going to work. So it's funny the way things work, and the belief in them parallels a lot of just factual belief in life. Because no, we don't have a lot of good pictures. You see mostly blob squatches and grainy
Oh,
video or whatever. And there have been a few good pictures caught, but there's everybody wants the body. They want to
yeah.
see that body, and I don't want to. Like I said, if
No.
I get a perfect picture of like what I saw, yeah, I'd share it, and I'd be like, y'all try and tell me what this is. Y'all tell me that's a human in a suit.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go from there, you know, I'll let you decide, but you will not know where I took that picture. You will not know where that creature lives, because I'm not going to open that, the opportunity for somebody to go and try and hunt it down and be like, here's a body to prove it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
guess what? Wait, Patrick. Let me say something. Back to what you were saying about how people saying they're apes and they're Nephilim and all this. I have inside sources that I can tell you they are a race of ancient people, and that's from my belief and from my inside source. And also, how you said how people look at other people and we're different and they judge of how we look at each other.
Hmm.
To them, everything is in a circle of one.
Hmm.
You hear that all the time.
Yeah.
They don't what's that word I'm looking for? Brain fart.
You're getting older tomorrow. That's what. Look, you
I
are.
know that's what it is. Yeah, it's what it is. Alzheimer's kicking in. They don't discriminate amongst their race unless it's bad or if it's not, because there's other things, and Patrick can tell you, there's other things out there besides Sasquatch.
That is kind of something I did want to touch on. I mean, we've done shows about it, but I've never seen proof of one. I've never seen one. I've never seen tracks, and I've been all over and invested. It's all led to Sasquatch. But one of the bigger things that you hear about next to Sasquatch is the dog man.
Yep, and there's also a thing called face eater.
Face eater?
It A face eater, yes. It is another type of Sasquatch, but not Sasquatch.
Is that the
It
one with
is.
the mouth?
It's got the dog snout.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, it's not a dog man. No, it's not a dog man. It's not a werewolf. It's not a coyote. It's what?
To be honest with you, it could be. I mean, in all, just like how we have birth defects. There's people that have certain diseases that do distort their features in their body. I'm in no way mocking or making fun of them. I'm just saying, since they are so much, their anatomy seems so much more closer to ours. And then,
Yes.
so why can't they have birth defects and have things that they can have mental illnesses? Like,
Yeah, they do. That's why you come up with the 3 toes. That's why you come up with 4 toes because they have inbred. They
yep.
do inbreed.
And then,
But
and then you've got your rogues that, they're away from, they don't have family, they don't have a pack or a tribe, and they're aggressive. They'll come after you for no reason. And
because also too, people
it's
shoot
a
at
panic.
them.
That's true. But I mean, like the ones, I remember one of the stories about a guy being on a bike trail, and he was just going along on his bike, and all of a sudden this one jumps out from behind a tree and basically clotheslines him, and he goes flying off the bike. And this thing tried to, it pretty much was beating up on him. He was, lucky to be alive, if this was a true story, from the way he was talking about it. Because, I've even said, no, I would never do anything to harm a Bigfoot, but if it came down to my life or whatever, if it's reaching for me, I'm going to feign back like I'm going away. But, and of course, by then I would have my pistol drawn, because if something's that close and it's growling, I'm going to be ready. But,
Yeah.
feign back and then actually rush in and put that barrel up and shoot through the chin. I don't know if it would kill it, but hopefully it would stun it enough to get it off of me and I could hightail it out. What?
You
Well,
shoot in the eye.
Well, I can imagine. I mean, I don't know how their jaw structure. If you do go by like the skeletons they found of the giants, they're very similar to ours, where it is soft tissue right there,
Right.
and it could go straight up into the brain.
well,
Like I said, you've had people that claim to have shot him before.
well,
One,
you do know that there was a man that was actually died of his injuries from being in a fight with a Sasquatch in the 30s or 40s.
I've heard of that, and then on
Hey.
Dixie Cryptid, Cam did a great job. Or well, no, it wasn't Cam. What was it? It was Dark Waters. That was talking about the siege at Lockett Ranch,
This
and
was
you
this
have
was in the this was in the Northwest, and
yeah. Well, yeah. Actually, going back to Cam, some guy sent him the story where 30 years ago, his uh hunting partner was supposedly ripped out of his tree stand by a dog or werewolf looking thing, and you know he mauled him and killed him, and the friend couldn't do anything to get back because the dog man was looking for him, but he happened to be up higher, and it did come down to a fight where he got mauled but put in a shallow grave, and he woke up and kind of made his way to a river, floated down river until he saw people camping, got with them and got medical help. And I mean, I don't know if there's actually police reports of them going in, but supposedly they never found his friend's body.
well,
And
this was in a newspaper in the 1930s or 40s about a guy that he claimed to have got into a fight on a trail with a Bigfoot,
mhm.
and he was taken to a hospital where he died of his wounds. And this was somewhere in Washington State, I believe.
Yeah, because I mean, when you go back to like all the old stories, most of them do come from Pacific Northwest.
Yes.
Um,
Well,
and they've spread out now. The more that people do believe and have had sightings, and whether they don't believe but they still do research to try and see if it's real,
mhm.
you notice it's gone. If you look at the maps of places that have sightings, it's like, yeah, they still are very concentrated up in the Pacific Northwest, but they're also concentrated in a lot of rural areas throughout the U.S.
Well, they had a group. They had a reporting out of Florida, uh, early 18th, late 18th century, early 19th century, about a group of hunters killing one. But they lost almost all their men doing so. You know, so there's reports from Florida to Washington State, California, uh, East Coast. There was reports from the East Coast, uh, late 18th century, early 19th century. But
I'm sorry, Christy's just like all over.
I'm used to it. She's like a spider monkey.
Well, no,
She's
I'm showing you my dog, the Roddy. That's
she's a
Thor.
damn coon ass. That's what's wrong with her.
That's Star.
She
Look at
she
Star.
she
Look,
hangs around Boudreaux and Thibodeau way too much here.
and bourgeois,
And bourgeois.
bourgeois.
I'm I'm fixing to get to bed because I got to be up at 4 in the morning.
Alrighty.
But good show.
Yes,
Happy
thank you so
birthday,
much for
Kristi.
being on. And
Yes.
I want you back on again.
We didn't
Uh,
even scratch. We didn't even scratch the surface.
no, we didn't.
No.
That's I did cut it short specifically so we could do this because I know you do have to work and I know she works and I wanted to get it done relatively early.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
fine.
but you're definitely, both of y'all are coming on. I'm gonna have y'all, since y'all do research together. I'm definitely
Yeah.
gonna have you on together so where you can, y'all can back each other's stories up. Um,
We got some stuff too.
oh yeah, I mean he
Oh
sent me
yeah.
some pictures and he sent me the video of the Arkansas. when with
Oh.
the eye shine and everything. And I watched it, I was like,
Mhm.
dang. But yeah, definitely
Yeah.
just wanted to do a quick little after show and tell you bon fête, happy birthday, les bon temps roulé. I can't talk now. Just tear it up, but be safe tomorrow.
I sure
And
will.
yeah,
And
and
thank you.
no, not a problem, not a problem, girl. We're gonna have to set something up where we do an Alabama Louisiana hunt, something like that. Because I definitely, like I said, I'm was probably ignorant the whole time I lived in Louisiana, thinking it was just other animals that I was hearing or bears that I was seeing or something. So I'd love to get back in y'all's areas that you go to and whatnot, and what you've witnessed down there. But Patrick, once again, thank you for being on the show. Really did enjoy it. It was a good show. Kristi, have a happy birthday, girl, and I will talk to both of y'all later. Y'all have a great evening, and have a great evening to the audience. And thank you all for watching. From
Thank
Central
you.
Alabama Bigfoot Research Organization, I'm Ashley, and we got Patrick Vaughn, my guest, and Kristi Sci, the crazy coon-ass birthday girl. All of y'all take
Thank
care.
you.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Stay
Good night.
blessed. Good night.